morning. So Gina and I have taken 2 days and gone to Cape Breton, Nova Scotia to do some camping in the Highlands National Park. So we're here in the Cheticamp side of Cape Breton, and we arrived late yesterday afternoon. We did get out for a hike. I do have a little footage I'll share with you, but we're here at our campsite just this morning getting ready to go out for hiking all morning, come back, have some lunch, go out and hike all afternoon, and hike right into the evening and watch the sunset down into the ocean. So I thought I would just take you a quick tour around our campsite and show you what's available here. So this time, instead of bringing tents, or a tent, we decided to camp in what they call the Otentnik, which is a combination tent cabin kind of a setup. So rather than try to explain it to you with words, why don't I just show you? Okay, so this is our site. It's actually kind of a shallow site. I'm actually standing at the edge of the road where our car is parked. So you can see that it's not a very deep site, not as much as some of the other national parks are. But that's okay. We have everything we need, and it's such a quiet area, at least this time of year, that it's not like we're being crowded with people. So our site, see our clothesline, our picnic table, our fire pit, and you can get some of the detail of what these Otentniks look like. It's a heavy vulcanized or rubberized material, canvas or nylon material, forming an A-frame over a wooden base. And I'll take you inside. Those two chairs were here when we arrived. That's very nicely provided. So as I go in, the camera may have to adjust for the change in light because it is a little bit dark inside. I can see it appears kind of reddish on the camera, but it's not in fact. It's quite a bit lighter. So here we are looking around inside the cabin. This is the table, a nice heavy-duty table with some very straight back side chairs. They do provide you with that LED Coleman lantern. The other one is ours. And you can see the sleeping quarters are such that there are 5 bunks. So on that side there are 2 mattresses. On the other side, 2 more mattresses where Gina and I have our sleeping bags spaced out. And then a larger mattress up top for somebody who likes to sleep above. So the mattresses themselves appear to be about 6 inches thick. Very dense foam, covered in heavy vinyl. Very comfortable. We slept very well last night on those. So it's a little Spartan. It's not especially big. It appears to be about 12 feet by 16 feet, and that's just a guess. Also provided is a charcoal barbecue. No charcoal, of course, but you have a charcoal barbecue if you want. And a propane furnace, which is kind of nice. Now, we didn't need it last night. It got down to 11 degrees Celsius, but our sleeping bags were plenty warm for us last night. It was a bit chilly this morning, but that was beautiful fall morning. So there's the inside of our cabin. So this is the visitor center at Cape Breton Highlands National Park in the Cheticamp side. We're just going in for a few minutes to check some map, buy some firewood and some ice. Smile.
I could smile, yes I could. As I'm looking at the morning, the bear is here.
Gina's a little worried about this. Bears. Let's see if we can find us a bear. Good chance we'll see moose on this trail. It's the shortest one of the ones we'll be doing over the next 2 days. So this is supposed to be one of the easier trails because we just got here a little late this afternoon. We didn't want to get too far into the woods, but I'm hoping this is an easier trail because if we have to hike up that, whoa, lots of nice things to see so far. There are lots of different plants, things that we don't see in other places.
Awesome.
So this is the reward at the end of this hike, right out on the ocean. Probably going to wipe the camera out. So we're on the west side or northwest side of Nova Scotia on Cape Breton Island.
May I show
So
the map?
we'd be looking at the Gulf of St. Lawrence from here.
Want to see a map? We can show
Stunning.
where it is.
Gina would like to show you on the map. You're going to have to hold it back and upright so I can, yeah, like that.
Cape Breton Island. And we are
A little lower, right there, yeah,
right here.
right there. Thank you, Gina. So Gina and I are just walking from the visitor center towards one of the hikes we wanted to do this morning, which is known as the Salmon Trail, some salmon pools along the base of the river. This afternoon we're going to be going up into those hills, quite high mountains, well, for Nova Scotia that is. But right now we're crossing what's known as Robert Brook. Just a peaceful little brook. So we're just heading out on the Salmon Pools trail. Quick look where it is on the map. Basically it appears to run up along the edge of that river to a look-off point and then back. So we're at what's known as First Pools on the trail. It's one of the salmon pools here. You can see how it widens out and get a little slower. So next up on our trails is one called Corney Brook. So we're parked in the parking lot across the road. You have to cross the road to get to it, and there's the trailhead over there. So we're going to head in there, and hopefully there'll be some waterfalls at the end of the trail. So this is our second hike of the day. We had gone home after doing the salmon hike trail and had a quick lunch, and now we're at the Corney Brook trail. So we'll be following in about a little over 4 kilometers into a set of waterfalls and then 4 kilometers back out. So we're just in about a half a kilometer or so in on the Corney Brook trail, and we're just noticing how much of a different ecology it has here. Where the last trail we were on, the, what was it called? Oh, Salmon Trail. The Salmon Trail had mostly hardwoods, mostly ash trees and oak trees and maple trees. This one is a real mixed forest. It's kind of nice to see the mixture in here. A lot of maple, a lot of oak still, a lot of ash, but a lot of softwoods, and it looks like a much more mature forest, although the trees are relatively small. We've seen some huge trees here, oaks in excess of 40 inches across, so quite a bit different. So we're following along the trail, but I thought I'd just give you a quick look of what the trail looks like over my shoulder. And if I say nothing, you'll get a sense of just how quiet and peaceful it is here. The only sound I can hear is that of a brook about 100 meters off to my side. Positively amazing. So just a slight downhill, but we've been climbing steadily for the last 45 minutes or so towards this brook. So we're just going to be crossing this brook and going on further. But I thought you might like to see this. Downstream, very pretty. And upstream. So we've got a ways to go yet before we reach the waterfalls. All right, end of the trail. So 4 kilometers up, mostly uphill, and this is our reward. Okay, so there are bigger waterfalls, but these were definitely worth the hike. I expect that they would have been more water if it hadn't been such a dry summer. Still pretty, still worth the hike. So it's Saturday morning and we're up bright and early. We had to check out of the campground, and we have 2 trails we're going to try today. This is probably the more challenging, or it is the more challenging of the 2. It's called the Acadian Trail. It has the greatest elevation from 65 feet to 1,200 feet above sea level. So good uphill climb. I guess the good news is it's downhill on the way back. So we'll see what we can find along the trail. So we just passed the 1 kilometer mark on the trail, and I thought I'd just give you an indication of the incline that we're going up. It has been steady all the way, making for a little bit of a slow climb. There's supposed to be a look-off coming up soon, so I'll bring you back then. So we're at the first observation post, which is really just 2 benches on the side of a hill. And we can see a little bit. We're up a couple hundred feet, maybe 300 feet, I'm not sure. I'm going to try and focus in That is a huge church in the village of Cheticamp, known as Notre Dame. And it's got to be, I think it's 10, 12 kilometers from here. All right, so we're coming out of the woods. This is actually probably the first elevation look-off platform. And was it ever worth it? I'll apologize for the wind noise now. Absolutely stunning view from here. And that road way down there is the Cabot Trail that winds around the top of Cape Breton. Gina and I just stopped on the side of the trail. This is the look-off, and we thought it was a good time to have a snack. Cliff Bars, and for me, I didn't drop it, a little bit of jerky. Want these? No?
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
So, believe it or not, we're only a fifth of the way?
Third.
A third of the way? Okay, a third of the way up the side of the hill. We've got quite a bit left to go. I'm sure, by the look of this view here, the other views should be even more spectacular. So we'll enjoy the snack, we'll get back on the trail, and I'll bring it back when we reach the next look-off point. So we're still a little short of the summit, but I thought I'd just give you a little view. We'll be turning away from the ocean side of the mountain and moving down into the wooded side in the Cheticamp River. But just move along the trail. I wanted to mention as we approach the summit, I'll probably give you a view from up there, that the elevation change here has kind of provided a unique opportunity for the ecology. We have moved through 3 forests. So we started off in the Acadian forest, and as we moved up in elevation, we moved into the boreal forest. And at the summit up here, we're into the Tagi forest area. So that'd be similar to Alaska, northern Alaska, all the northern regions, Siberia and across. Good, that's the summit that we're going up to now. And one of the differences that I'm noticing, of course, and was expected, was the type of trees. So as we moved up through the Acadian forest, a lot of hardwoods, pretty much all hardwoods down there. A lot of ash, a lot of maple, a lot of oak. And as we moved up through, and of course a lot of birch, as we moved up through, we started to notice that the hardwoods were disappearing and a few birch left. And now here, we're at nearing the top. The only hardwoods I see is the occasional, believe it or not, cherry tree. So, a lot of wild raisins in here. A lot of wild raisins. Nice and tasty. As long as we don't meet any four-legged big brown critters who will also find them tasty. Alright, so we're getting near the summit, and when we do, I'll bring it back. So I'm at maximum elevation, around 1,200 feet, and pretty much see right around in a full panoramic. I am going to turn towards the water side, but of course you'll hear wind noise, so I apologize for that now, but just a brief look of where I'm standing. Alright, back down the trail and on to the other side. So it turns out I was wrong. There was another 100 feet yet to the summit, and like most of Parks Canada trails, usually at the end of the trail where there's a good look off, they put a nice red Adirondack type chair. So here is the summit of the Acadian Trail. I think we'll stop and have a snack. Well, we're well down the mountain now. on what I would call the backside or the inside trail, the one that's away from the coastal areas, and just a completely different ecology again. Beautiful in here right now. Little mountain stream coming down the side of the mountain here, and the path follows it down the way the sun's coming in through the trees. Beautiful. Nice and cool in here as well, and it is a hot day outside of here. It's 28 degrees Celsius. Well, that's about all I have for you in this video. The hike we took this morning was absolutely stunning, breathtaking views, but it took a little longer than we expected, and as a result we're not going to get any other hikes in before we have to head home. So we just pulled off the road here to one of the small picnic parks they have here throughout the Highland area, and we're putting together a small lunch on the side of the road, and then we'll be heading back to Halifax. But before you go, I thought I'd just share something with you. The little picnic park we have has a view right up here I think it would be worth seeing. Now hopefully I got all that in the camera. Okay folks, until I have another video for you, do what we just did for the last couple of days. Get out and explore. Take that path less traveled. It will make all the difference. Bye for now.